You might be thinking about doing some overwinter onions. So if you are considering doing that, there's a couple of things that you can do in advance to help those onions get established quicker. First thing you need to do is prepare that ground outside. Give it a good turning, give it a good weed, put some feed in there in advance, and then level that ground out. And obviously you'll be growing onion sets as opposed to onion seed. And you've got the Japanese winter onions, which are basically a yellow onion, but you can also get a winter red as well. So you can have two sets of onions growing through autumn, winter to be harvested in late spring. But it's important that you get the right type of onion. So if you go online and just type in overwinter onions or Japanese winter onions, that will be the correct yellow onion sets that you need to get. But if you want to get a jump start on them, if you're using just an open area, then you could have problems with birds pulling those onion sets up, and you don't want that, especially at this time of year when you need to get them established as quick as possible. So when we do our spring onions, we pop them into these to grow on. So that basically forms a nice little compact plug that you can push into the ground, and it's already got an established root system. And you do the exact same thing with onion sets. So you can plant out your onion sets anytime between the end of October up until December, as long as you put them out before there's any hard frosts. So what I tend to do is get trays like these, or like the one I've just shown you, which you can get from Wilko's, and you get 3 of those for £1. But something like that, these are just recycled trays that have had plug plants in, and I've had these for quite a while, and I just keep reusing them. And basically you just fill that with compost, and then you take your onion sets and you push your onion set just to shoulder length in each one of these, give it a water, and then leave it. And then you're going to have about a month or so where these sets are going to start and put down roots, and that's going to form a nice little plug. So you can pop those out, push them into your beds and firm them down, and then the birds won't be able to pull them out. Plus you've got a jump on the season straight away, because you can put those in there and take those trays indoors to give them that extra bit of warmth, and then they'll get established even quicker. Or just leave them in your greenhouse rather than just putting the set straight outside in the ground. I always do it like this with the spring onions that I grow, the regular onions that I grow from spring onwards, and then I do the same thing with the winter onions. So I've got my onions ordered and they're on the way, and we'll be doing that thing with them. But I've got a snippet of a video what I did way back in spring to show you exactly how I put these onions in that tray before I planted them out. And if you've seen my previous videos when we did the harvests on the onions, you'll remember that we got some really nice big onions, and they were perfectly healthy. So onto that clip. Starting onion sets indoors to get an early start on the growing. What you're going to need is a cell tray, something like this, and we're going to fill this with compost. You don't need any special compost, potting compost, just regular, normal, everyday compost will be perfectly fine. So we're just going to fill all these cells. Once you've filled your tray up, what you want to do is compress the soil down. I just use this. So I'm just going to press all this down. Once you've done that stage, we just want to fill it up again. But this time we're not going to press the soil down anymore. We're now going to water it. Now these are the onion sets that I've bought. When you're selecting these onions to be put into your cells, make sure you get the ones that are nice, plump, round. If you see any that's like this and they're squidgy and soft, they're no good. You can just discard those. They will not make a good onion. So now that the water's settled, we're going to take us onions and we're going to plant them root side down, which is this side. The tops will have this on them. If you can see that, that is the top of the onion. That is the root part of the onion. So all we're going to do with that is we're going to put it in a cell and we're just going to press it in to about waist height, so the onion is sat above the soil. You don't want to bury the onions, they just want to sit in like that, and that's perfectly fine. And then it's just a case of going through, selecting the rest of your onions and doing the same. Just lightly press in, don't squash them until you've filled the tray. This is basically the way that you would plant them outdoors, and obviously if you just do that with a bulb and leave it and a bird comes down, it will just grab hold of this part, yank it out. By doing it this way, you're going to completely avoid that problem. So there you go, it's as simple as that. We've got 40 onions in one seed tray. They will now start to put roots down and grow. So you can see that the process of doing that is so easy, and rather than waiting and then pushing them into the ground and hoping they don't get pulled up or they get established quick enough before you get any bad frosts, you just plant them with a little bit of compost in something like that and they'll soon get established. And then when you plant those onion sets out, they'll already have the green tops sticking out the top, so you're well on your way. But more importantly, you know that those birds can't pull those up because they've been firmed into the ground rather than just being pressed onto the top of the compost like you would normally do. So if you are thinking about doing these over winter onions, try that method and see how you get on. I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed, and you'll definitely get a jump on that growing. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, always appreciated. If you want to see what else we're doing through autumn and winter, then please just hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and we'll see you then.